Today, I'll tell you the story of one of the most talked about moments in modern history, a seemingly trivial day that left an outsized impact on a young senator from Massachusetts. Yes, this is the story of the day John F. Kennedy missed a train and how it set the stage for a lifetime of wit, charm, and a bit of serendipity. It was February 1946, a chilly morning in Boston. The young and ambitious John F. Kennedy, fresh from his service in World War II, was preparing for one of his first political engagements. He was set to meet with a group of Union leaders in Worcester, Massachusetts, and deliver a speech about post-war America. Jack, as everyone called him, was notoriously casual about timekeeping. His sister Eunice often joked that he was on Kennedy's Standard Time, which was always at least 15 minutes late. That morning was no different. After a leisurely breakfast at the family home in Brookline, Kennedy's driver warned him, "Sir, we're cutting it close for the train." Kennedy waved him off. "Relax, there's always another train," he said, grinning in that way that made people both exasperated and charmed. When they arrived at South Station, the platform was buzzing with commuters. Kennedy strode toward the train, his leather briefcase in hand. But just as he reached the platform, the conductor yelled, "All aboard," and the train pulled away with a screech. "Damn," Kennedy muttered under his breath, running a hand through his hair. A man standing nearby chuckled. "Missed it by a hair, eh?" he said, adjusting his hat. Kennedy smiled. "More like by an entire platform." The man laughed and offered his hand. "Tom Riley. You look familiar. Aren't you that Kennedy fellow running for Congress?" "That's me," Kennedy said, shaking his hand. "Well, you've got my vote," Riley said. "But if you're going to run this country someday, you might want to work on being on time." Kennedy grinned. "Noted, Mr. Riley. And you've got my word, I'll make it up to Worcester somehow." And make it up he did. Instead of sulking, Kennedy decided to turn his missed train into an opportunity. He borrowed a phone from the station manager and called the Worcester meeting organizer. "Let them know I'll be late," he said, "but tell them to keep the coffee hot. I'll be there." He chartered a car, traveling the 50 miles to Worcester while jotting down notes for his speech. Along the way, he stopped at a roadside diner to stretch his legs. Inside, he introduced himself to the patrons, shaking hands and listening to their concerns about the post-war economy. By the time he arrived in Worcester, he'd not only polished his speech, but also gained a handful of new supporters. The Union leaders greeted him warmly, and Kennedy's charm worked its magic. He began his speech with a self-deprecating joke about missing the train. "I suppose the only thing worse than being late to a meeting is being early to retirement," he quipped, earning a round of laughter. Years later, Kennedy would recall,